everyone and welcome to Nerdgoblinart. I'm Lula. Now, it's a Beebeecraft video. I got these as part of my order. They are key rings, although some of them I think work as pendants and earrings as well. So we're gonna do, I've picked out 3 from the set. I've picked out the cat and I'm using some ink, which I'm going to put directly onto the mold, and I'm using Jdiction UV resin. So I'm just starting it out. These are metallics from Intoresin. That one is coffee, and we've got ruby wine, but make sure that you are giving them a really good shake, because the pigment do like to hide at the bottom. Now I thought that I'd use this when it was open, but it was not. Don't forget, guys, to use a pin. Oh. I don't think you can see how bad that sprayed across my desk. Oh dear. I apparently I squeezed a little bit too hard. So that plan kind of failed. I've ended up with a nice ring of the wind metallic all around the edging. My plan was obviously, you know, put the UV resin on and let the UV resin take the inks. But ah well. So, you know, we'll have an interesting looking cat instead. Now, I am aware that quite often when you use inks, you know, alcohol inks inside of, you know, with UV resin and a lamp, it can do like a funny thing. It can like wrinkle and stuff. My lamp doesn't tend to do too much of that because I can control the temperature. But if you don't have a lamp like that, you can hold your lamp from high first and bring it in. And that's what I used to do before I got this lamp with my Jdiction one. So I just pulled out my non-sync glitter from Intoresin, and I'm just giving that a mix in. It's a lovely, like goldy, not even gold, sorry, like a coppery type brown one, and I just thought they would give this a lovely finish once obviously that had cured from putting it in the lamp. And I'm just using one of my tools just to make sure that I've got a good coverage all the way around the mould. It's actually a very nice mould, this one. It's one of my favourites from the set that came out. We know that I love cats. So yeah, goes very nicely. My only issue with this set that came, the moulds are lovely from Beebeecraft. Obviously in my video of unpackaging these, there was like a cat's, like a outline of a cat's head, and that one was defective and broken on arrival. These came with the keyring pieces. The problem is that the jump rings are too small for, by the time you put in any resin whatsoever, it doesn't even matter if you're doing it thinly, the jump rings aren't big enough, so you would have to, you know, get your own. So that's looking lovely. There we go, it's come out good. It has left some of the ink behind, but that's fine. That's because we had a little accident. But that's really pretty. I like that. I think it's quite pretty as I think it'll make a lovely keyring. You know, and you can even put, you know, if you've got a circuit, you could even put a name. You could either put, you know, the person who loves cats' names on it. Yeah, polar bears next. You could put the name of a person whose name, you know, who loves cats on it, or you can give it to a person with their cat's name on. I mean, you know, it's a nice little gift idea, especially with Christmas coming too. So nice and simple. So with this one, I've decided to put some UV resin in first. And so I'm just making sure that the resin has spread all around, like down into the little feet. It's not a bad one, this one. It's not as, like the next one that I'm going to be doing, the dinosaur one, the smaller ones especially, the legs are a little bit more intricate. So you've got to make sure that the resin has gone down into those spaces. And I'm, excuse my weird angle, it was I filmed this one, it's November the 3rd now. I filmed this one in, you know, just in the last week or so of October, and it was quite mild. So I had my fan running. So they have come out nicely. And I'm going to cover these with Olive from Let's Resin. Oh dearie me, and I'm just using a brush. It always brushes on lovely on UV resin anyway. And just so you are aware, I've got my mirror on my lamp, but also because I'm doing cuts, I am actually flipping the molds over as well, and I am doing both sides. So I've given them a dusting of the olive. And now I'm giving them another coating of the UV resin. And again, making sure that that resin is finding its way into the little tips of the toes and around the nubs for the pieces. Now, I think that this, personally, I think this is a lovely pendant and earring set. You know, I think you can get away with using it as a keyring, but I think personally a kid, you know, if you've got a younger person that you happen to like, they may well like that. So I'm going to use a tiny amount of black mica powder with the UV resin. Now, you've always got to be, you know, you've got to be wary that the UV needs to be able to penetrate through. So using black, you have to do it lightly and potentially in 1 or 2 layers if you want it, you know, like darker. And again, you can get wrinkling if you are, you know, if you're using your lamp. So again, you can hold your lamp higher and then gradually bring it down to try and, you know, avoid that. And you will definitely, I know I do, put this on for I believe 3 minutes, and then I turn it over and do the other side. So yeah, it can be done. I know it does look quite dark, but it's actually quite, I've not put as much powder in there as I usually would. But in they go. And as I said, they do have a good 3 minutes. And they also got turned over, and I put them back again on the dark side. It would have been great, they're lovely, I like them, But it would have been great if I'd remembered when I pulled out olive, that if I'd remembered that olive, it's olive. Olives are green. And you got the green thing there going on. But still, they're cool. I like them. Loads of kids like green. So, next to the dinosaurs. Who doesn't love dinosaurs? It did take me a few moments to decide what I wanted to use. Ignore that, I'm just holding it out of my way. I was waiting for new shelves to be put up. So I've gone for fuchsia, and I've gone for a flake. So on these we have used alcohol inks, we've used chameleon powders, and now we're using flakes as well. And as you can see, no problems with these molds whatsoever. They're very durable, and they've taken on 3 different things now. 3 different kinds of things. Apologies for being slightly off camera there. You know, when you're concentrating. When you're using flakes, make sure that you haven't got... I'm covering it, if you can see, because like I said, my fan was on. And otherwise you're going to be floating. It's going to be floating around everywhere. And also, because of the molds, it likes to fly and like cling to parts of the mold you don't want it on. And because I knew I was trying to get it down into those little, the little dinosaurs, you know, the smaller versions. But as usual, just be aware that things like flakes. Oh, I live to be dangerous here. Look, I've added the UV resin to the black that I used for the polar bears. But I didn't add any more powder, but I'm going to do it in layers this time rather than just in the one. Personally, I find with chameleon flakes, they are at their best when they're on a more 3D thing. You know, when you're putting them into something like this, which is flat, you're not going to get the full advantage of what the flakes can do. Yeah? And like I said, this one's a little more intricate than the polar bear one, so using some kind of a tool, I used my dotting tool. I just made sure that the resin had gone down into the feet, arms, and mouths. The mouths are quite angled, so be wary if you do happen to get these, you've not used them yet, bubbles, you know, just be wary of the pointed face area. And again, I done both sides, so it's going to go in for this second coat. I didn't have a problem, to be honest, because the polar bears, I did a coat of clear resin first and then added the mica powder. Not the mica, yeah, the chameleon powder. And with these ones, I don't directly put them into the mould. There was no big difference whatsoever, so you can do either or. Yeah, but I think that had I done a clear resin pour first, then the chameleon flakes may have been a bit more glossy. We'll have to do them again at some point just to check that out. So they've had this is their second layer of the black, and of course I used my long neck lighter. So here they are, and they were done both sides. They come out quite easily. It's not hard, and I gotta admit, these weren't hard to clean either afterwards, because sometimes flakes can be quite difficult. But there you go. Can you see what I mean? Because you see the difference in this one. Look how thick they are. Those jump rings do not fit. Massive thanks for Beebeecraft for sending me these moulds. They are really fun, and you can make, I think you could have a lot of fun with them. Not just key rings, pendants and earrings. Thank you for watching. I hope you've enjoyed. Love you, and stay weird.
In a room full of colors and swirls, Nerdgoblinart draws a magic world, with foxes that prance and badgers that dance, a whirlwind of dreams with a single glance. Gerald the alligator grins so wide, in enchanted waters he loves to hide. Dragons breathe wonder with flames so bright, each creature born from a magic night. Nerd Goblin paints life in every brush,